Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. As always, we drop an update just like this one around 1 PM UK time every single day to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. That's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be starting things off with some significant news to have taken place over the past 24 to 48 hours, and I do apologise for not dropping a daily market update yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. I had some things to take care of. I hope you guys missed me as much as I missed you. But we're going to be starting things off there, and then we're going to be putting everybody to sleep, and we're going to be talking about the kind of macro picture, reinstating a couple of reasons in regards to why we're bullish on the cryptocurrency market that we derive from having a macro picture that sees risk assets do very well. It aligns with global liquidity, it aligns with the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, it aligns with PMI cycles, it aligns with technically everything that we're looking at. It aligns with monetary policy and where it's currently at, the dollar, the direction we ultimately think it's going to go in. And we're at this kind of pivotal point, if you will. Bitcoin's been pulling back, the dollar's been strong, or the Dixie's been strong. The Dixie is essentially an index of the dollar against a basket of other currencies. Now, why might the Dixie come down when other countries are lowering interest rates first? Well, it's because when the dollar lowers its, or the Fed lower its interest rates, the dollar will fall to more of a degree in terms of demand than the others, given the larger nature of it. So I'll explain this concept. I talk about this a lot with my Patreons. If you guys haven't considered becoming a Patreon yet, what are you doing? This is literally the perfect time to be interested in the cryptocurrency space and get on board with some of the buys that we do have, including stocks. Lots of stocks looking bullish as well. So to kick things off, as promised, I want to start things off with some news. And this is USMS awards Coinbase Prime a multi-million-dollar contract. So what is USMS? Well, the US Marshal Service will use Coinbase Prime to custody and trade crypto. The SEC's finished, ladies and gents. The SEC is currently in a lawsuit against Coinbase. And the US Marshal Service is now using them. Hello? What is going on here? You know, are we living in a parallel universe? So the United States Marshal Service picked Coinbase Prime to custody and provide trading services for certain crypto seized by the arm of the Department of Justice. So the Department of Justice, essentially, is now using Coinbase. According to a blog post, Coinbase Prime will hold large cap digital assets under the USMS. The USMS conducted a competitive due diligence process that evaluated a range of solutions, ultimately choosing Coinbase due to our strong track record and ability to securely provide institutional-grade crypto services at scale, the post said. Per an awards from the DOJ on the government's websites for award management, Coinbase Prime will receive $32.5 million for it. So we're not going to read too much more on this. What I will do before I come on to the dollar is really highlight and continue to boast about just how right we've been on Coinbase as a stock. And we've still got higher to go. So it's at $233 today. We believe, or I certainly believe, and we've been calling this out, and I have many patrons that have been on that train since down here, that it's going to 413. It will get there, ladies and gentlemen, just like so many other things that we've called right here on the channel. Just quickly, we'll take a quick look at our indexes. One thing that I should have brought up, and we'll cover all this when we talk about the sort of more boring macro stuff, and we'll link it all together. So let's put this back on the dollar, because we've got some interesting things to show you on the dollar. Isn't that interesting? And the dominoes really are falling. So Sony also will soon restart crypto exchange Whalefin, which it brought from Amber Group last year, with a new app and user interface by so on and so forth. So everybody's getting involved. Robinhood, I think Robinhood's a real crypto play. PayPal's a stop that I'm looking at, but it's not quite there yet in regards to speculating on it. There's a real bullish time for the markets. And the ironic thing is that the SEC is suing Coinbase, yet the US Marshal Service are using them, along with everybody else. And that's why we're bullish on Coinbase as a stock. We think it's going to be a real massive stock of tomorrow. Some more interesting news is obviously there's now rumors that BlackRock may apply for a Solana ETF this month. We're potentially getting the Ethereum ETF this month. We had lots of applications for the Solana ETF last week. You're going to see that continue. What I want to do, actually, guys, whilst I've got you here before we dive onto the macro, is go and look at CoinShares reports. We always like to do this on a Monday, but of course we weren't here. And you can see this is the third week in regards to sentiment. So Ethereum pushes outflows into the third week. So Ethereum was the big one people were taking away from. There was inflows and everything else. Why might this be the case? So this would predominantly be, so this is from Grayscale. Let's do this. No one else goes down these kind of, or I think even really understands how to do this, but we got Ethereum perfectly right. And I brought up something very interesting with my Patreons yesterday. So we got GBTC spot on, and we knew that was one reason why we were going to get that ETF. Ethereum, we've got spot on in terms of the products it has and the fact that it's made target, and people might want to move their Ethereum out only to buy the spot ETF that's coming. And that could be why we're seeing those inflows. And it's interesting now that we're looking at baskets of altcoins, which are still setting up to make their targets. And that's the flow of money into the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. And we're getting progression on that on the fundamentals. So a little bit of interesting things for you. Let's see what altcoins actually saw inflows. So blockchain equities, despite the positive sentiment for crypto this year, have suffered. Conversely, multi-asset and Bitcoin ETPs led inflows of 18 million and 10 million representatively. Short Bitcoin also saw a rise of outflows. Brilliant. Suggesting sentiment may be turning. A range of altcoins saw inflows, most notably, of course, Solana as always, and Litecoin, which is interesting. Let's see what other... So Cardano didn't see anything. Chainlink did. XRP did. Litecoin, Solana. You know, these are the main ones that they sort of track. So isn't that interesting in regards to the sort of flow of money and how the ETPs are all moving up? And I think the outflows are largely coming from people now knowing an Ethereum ETF is on the horizon. Let's move back to the dollar. Let's talk about the macro, guys. Let's put everybody to sleep after talking about that. So we're very bullish when we look at crypto from its own merit. And we've looked at 1,000,001 charts. We've shown you the Sol BTC chart, which looks amazing. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? You need to at this point. It's crucial for your crypto journey to be sub to this channel. So do that now. Go and hit the subscribe button. Like and a comment is always appreciated. If you want to take your journey a little bit further, we have courses coming out in the coming weeks. I can't wait to release them. Get on board, guys. Let's talk about some boring macro stuff. So USM2's money supply is now increasing. It's going to increase, I believe, rapidly. And it's going to likely have a bond element to it, of course. This is M2 with assets, including bonds, which are, there's been a real divergence here that I think the Fed's going to need to step in and sort of take care of. And we're bearish on yields. We're bullish on bonds at this point. I think there's a turning coming. It's a tanker, it's a bigger market. But ultimately, that's going to align with global liquidity and where we see technically what we're looking at for the likes of, just to show this, we've got all this work done on our own technicals for the Total 2, Bitcoin, crypto stocks that are doing amazingly. But the USM2 is increasing. I think it's going to increase significantly. I think this aligns with global liquidity cycles, which we've shown previously. The dollar is just so much of the Bitcoin story. And it always has been. Okay, so a weak dollar has seen Bitcoin do well. Let's put this on log. And, falling dollar, Bitcoin up, falling dollar, Bitcoin up, falling dollar, Bitcoin, up. And then you've ran into this kind of indecision period that's coming on the back end of macro uncertainty and the Fed being tougher than usual. I believe the dollar is going to continue to fall because Fed funds rate is going to come down, yields are going to come down. And Fed funds rate or 2-year yields lead. We don't want to go too much into the yield side of things, but the Fed funds rate, which is interest rates, will bring the Dixie down. Why is that the case? Well, it's the case because just like when interest rates went up for the United States, other countries were also doing the same thing. Some of them even hiking to more of a degree. The dollar gains strength because it's a bigger market. There's more demand there for it when you up interest rates, and vice versa. That's both a seesaw effect. So I do think other currencies are going to do quite well against the dollar. I think there's going to be Japanese intervention because they're very good at doing that. That's why they call the Japanese the widow maker. Ultimately, the dollar coming down, and we've got that band that you can kind of see here that we're looking at it coming down to since we've been in 2008. That's going to see crypto do well. And whilst you've had this period of dollar strength, you've had Bitcoin weakness. And I do think the only thing that's making me a little bit nervous about this is what 10 years yields are doing. That the dollar is likely going to, it has broken out this falling wedge. It's likely going to continue to roll from here. We've got data coming out in regards to non-farm payrolls and things like that this week. The only thing that made me a little bit nervous yesterday was the 10-year. Let's get Bitcoin off the bloody chart here. 10-year looked to have broke to the upside, which made me a little nervy in regards to the dollar because they're very correlated. So we want yields to come down, we want dollars to come down, we want the kind of anti-risk to flounder. But it's absolutely my assessment that it will. And that's going to be a great backdrop for crypto, which is going to be the best performing asset. We've got lots of stocks that we're bullish on at this point. Amazon progressing towards our target that everyone laughed at us for having. Well, who's laughing now? And that's what it's all about, guys, when it comes to the markets. Making money and having that last laugh. So I guess that's really all I've got for you guys. The dollar is really, really important to watch. Yields are important to watch. If you don't want to watch that stuff, just follow the channel. We'll do it all for you. There's a hell of a lot going on right now. We're just waiting, in my opinion, for the resumption of the trend that we've previously been in. I don't think we're too far off that whatsoever. I don't think inflation's, we've largely laughed at the ding-dong saying, the second wave of inflation is here. We've said, where's the proof of that? We've got inflation had been deflating and then it's kind of been going sideways. But if you look at the UK, for example, they're already at 2% target. Fed's likely going to get there. I'm not too worried about that. There's a lot of pressure on them to bring interest rates down and sort of help the bond market. They can't let that slip too much further. There's going to be this kind of like turning, if you will, of the uncertainty and then the resumption of the broader trend that is technically signaled. We've got macro reasons for it, so on and so forth, and everyone's kind of getting ready and positioning from a fundamental point of view. And it's very interesting, isn't it, that GBTC we got right, made our target. ETH GETH has made his target, and like Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, getting ready to do that. And that's the kind of flow of altcoins, if you will. And I don't think I've seen anybody bring up that. So again, subscribe to the channel, guys. That's all from me, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for missing yesterday's video, but we're back hopefully with a bang, and I look forward to seeing you all in tomorrow's and this evening's video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you all in the next one.